Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and all United States, the FM network. I'm excited. For many reasons, there is always a reason to be excited in life. The fact that you're alive, you should be excited. The fact that you can walk on two legs and nobody shoots you in the back, you should be excited. The fact when you see an underdog, somebody that normally they try to throw under the bus, and somebody that regardless if we agree on everything or not, but he sticks to his principles, and he goes against his own party, against the corruption of his own party. And trust me, every party has their corruptions, okay? This is not just a Democrat or Republican problem. It belongs to all the parties. But when I found a man that also has been one of my first listeners, that he stood alone against this party corruption, and he tried to do the right thing, and he ran for office, regardless all the odds, and all the different tried to, after all, this is like almost working against the mafia. They try to set you up. They try to arrest him. They do everything they could. And this man, I heard today, or a couple of days ago, in case you listen it on Sunday, he made it through the primaries for the Arizona Senate seat. This is really exciting. This is what I like to see happening in America. Now, let's see, probably many of you already, know him. This is a guy that has been several times on my show. His name is Ronald J O'Donnell. Ronald, are you there?
I sure am, Zanna, and I'm listening to that song called Don't Tread on Us Now. My theme song. I told you it's my theme song. That's how we met.
Yes. And I tell you,
I heard that song.
I start to get more and more attached to this show just because of the people that I meet like you. This is kind of an opportunity. Probably, I don't know if in life we knew we were each other if it wasn't for this show. So I'm really thankful and grateful. And I'm very excited about what happened to you and what's happening to you. But I want you to tell us the details, okay? Give us a little bit of background exactly. Last time we talked, you were really facing physical harm almost, okay? They didn't want you anymore in your Democratic Party. They were trying to throw you under the bus, literally. And also they wanted to arrest you. And more important, they didn't like the fact that you were denouncing Hillary Clinton for her crimes, okay? And regardless all the odds, you ran for office, you're running for office, and you won the primary. But I want to give you the floor. I'll shut up. Give us all the updates and give us a little bit of recap what happened since the last time. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, for the listeners, the reason I would call Zanna was because nobody else would let me talk. And it was an outlet, a voice, at least somebody maybe would hear me on the radio. I was trying to say something, and, I couldn't get anybody to listen to me. And that was 2 years ago. Well, anyway, the story goes, I ran for California State Senate District 23, and I lost the initial, it was a special election, so I decided to run for this office again, which I just won the Democratic vote this morning.
Wow.
At 5 o'clock this morning. And I beat the vice chair of the Democratic Party, ran against me as a personal spite, after having tried to get me arrested. After throwing my membership fees to the Democratic Party over the balcony on the second floor of the mall, and then having the audacity to actually email me and admit it. I have that in writing. That's a crime. But anyway, all these obstacles. But you know what? 42,000 people voted for me here.
Wow, that's huge. Really huge. And top, I know that you're working man. Is not, you don't have like any type of special lobby behind.
I'm retired.
You know, I know. I mean,
working. I'm retired.
how did you get this message out? Because normally they spend almost millions of dollars in some states. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get.
I spent $495.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I had. I did the rest myself. With Facebook, and your show was really huge because whether you know it or not, San Bernardino County, you're looking at us right across the river.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In Kingman, you look right across that Colorado River. That's me.
I know, but still, I'm pretty
The
impressed.
voice came from there.
Wow. So tell
From
us,
your show.
Tell me a little
Other
bit.
people started talking.
Wow.
And you know what got the people here in the desert, in our desert? Your desert and my desert are not separated by a border. Mm-hmm. We're in the desert. This is our desert.
That's true. We're in the desert. You're right.
And you know what I mean? That's what I always said.
Yes.
We're just people here. We have political boundaries. I don't have any differences with anybody in Arizona. I love people in Arizona. They don't have any differences with us. But the problem is the political parties divide us. They draw lines, and they control us.
Yes, that's true.
And we went across those borders,
That's
right there
true.
in our little river there.
That's true.
And other people started talking. Now, I was always saying to the Democrats, hey, a Democrat does not necessarily have to give up his guns. Look what happened in San Bernardino. Well, of course, I offended a lot of people that were in the power because they're all about, let's take the guns. And I said, well, what do you mean? Hold it. You're not taking our guns. Look what just happened. 36 people got shot, 24 murdered. Yet you won't even talk about it. It was a Christmas party, for God's sake. A Christmas party. And it was in honor of who? Christ. And these Muslims, radicalized Islamic Muslim terrorists, come in and shot a bunch of Christians right in our own backyard, not even 3 blocks from the police department, and we're not allowed to talk about it. Don't say that, oh no, we don't want to offend anybody. Well, honestly, that's when I spoke up, and I said, well, no, I not only am going to talk about gun control, my idea of gun control was when you aim, you hit them right between the eyes.
Oh my God, they must have loved you for that, eh?
And I'm a Democrat. No, I am not ever going to vote for taking guns away from us until you stop these murders, until you can figure out a way to take the guns from the criminals. If you do that, let's start there. I like gun control. Start there. Get it from the cartels. Get the guns from all the drug addicts. Get the guns from all the people robbing our houses. Get the guns from the people murdering us. Get the guns from the Islamic radicalized Muslim terrorists. Why do you need the guns from the honest American citizens that got a flag out in front of the door?
Yeah, I remember another thing, and that's true. That means it's impossible. That's a fact. There is no way that you can get rid of guns on the planet. But the point for me is, I always told you, it's not even about anymore the organized or the regular criminal out there. The idea is the first person that really should be aware and, let's say, concerned, according to also our founding fathers. That's why they created, or at least they enumerated, they didn't create the Second Amendment, they enumerated it like the rest of the Bill of Rights, was about the government, because the tyrannical government is always behind the corner. So bottom line is, yes, we have guns because, the extremists out there, the terrorists, the wannabe terrorists, the muggers, the thuggers, whatever. Yes, there are evil people in the world. That's true. But really the one I'm most concerned, it could be a tyrannical government. And that's why the Second Amendment was created. But, I really commend you because, you're for sure, you're a different type of Democrat, especially after you listen to this sort of conversations like lately. We know the Clinton, that she said that, according to her book, she doesn't even want to admit, Mrs. Hillary, or whatever his name, Clinton, that the Second Amendment is a right. I mean, for her, Second Amendment just like can be regulated and can be abolished or can be whatever that she wants to do, and that's on the open. But I'm glad that you had the courage in your own party to the announcer. And I commend you for that, because many other people,
Well, thank you.
you know, they're
Thank
afraid.
you very much.
You're talking against Al Capone, and you realize what they were trying to do to you. I mean, you got
They're
really...
trying to throw me in jail.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
And they set me up right at the Register of Voters office. They set me up. The only reason I didn't go to jail that day, they refused to take my $1,000 nomination fee out of cashier's check.
Wow.
And I had my signatures from the people that voted for me.
Yeah.
And they told me to bring them back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm not going to be able to make it back here tomorrow. And I put them back over the desk, and I said, no, take the money and you do what you want. And they said, well, we can't take it right now. So I pointed to the garbage can, and I said, well, then throw them in the garbage can.
Wow.
Because I'm not taking it back. You can throw the money in that garbage can. They threw my membership fee in the garbage can. Throw that $1,000 cashier's check in there. I said, I don't care.
I remember
Well, then when I
that.
turn my back, I turn around, and there's a sheriff there.
Wow.
And you know, the only reason I didn't get arrested there,
Why?
the guy that drove me down,
Yeah.
me and him were shooting pool, and I said, hey, I'm going to drop this check off that.
Yes.
It was never planned. Never planned. I said, come on, let's just go down. We were shooting pool in the biker bar, about a block or two away from the Register of Voters. So we had a few in us. That's all right. I said, just drop me off, and I'll just drop this money off, and let's go back.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He happened to be a state law enforcement officer.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's got his badge out, and they got their badge out,
Wow.
and we're standing there. We all said, well, let's go outside and do this, And nobody knew who to arrest who. But he said, no, I was standing right there with Ron. I drove him here. He just came here to drop off his money. Who made a false complaint against him for throwing something across the counter? He didn't throw anything out. He just returned it. He said, no, I don't want it. Throw it in a garbage can. This is the way we were treated.
I agree.
And we beat them. We beat them this morning.
No, I'm so very happy. This is really almost like unheard, unreal. Because, I always...
Well, they heard it from your show. 40,000 people in the desert voted for me.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And I had $495 budget to go ahead and get my voice out. And obviously it didn't, I don't know, that's not enough for one newspaper. It come from the show.
Yeah.
Then people, word of mouth, they talk to another person in the desert here.
Wow.
And they just talked about it. And 40,000 people apparently said, you know what, we're going to vote against, the official endorsed candidate. We're going to vote for what we believe in. So I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of people that believe in what you're telling people on K-Talks, but they're too afraid to say it because they have a job. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to admit that they are afraid and they need weapons to protect themselves. It's a shame our society's where it is, but they have them. They just can't say it out loud. And they can go to hell if they think Nancy Pelosi thinks she's going to come down here in the desert and take our guns away.
Ronald, another important thing, sorry if I interrupt you. The guns, of course, is very important, but I think also what you did, it's even more important. You were strong and courageous enough to stand against the corruption of your own party. And it's beyond guns, When they tell you to jump just because Hillary, I call her Hitler, it's pretty much close. But anyway, when Hillary tells that she's going to be the new, somehow, direction of the party, you say, wait a second, I'm not going to follow these orders. This is wrong.
I got 40,000 people said the same thing here.
Exactly.
All Democrats.
Exactly.
40,000, okay? We're not alone here.
By the way, I'm not a Sanders supporter, but guys, now finally, even many Democrats start to smell the fascism when they start to realize that the primaries, for sure, the vote when you vote to vote, it's an illusion because the top of the party, they control all the delegates. So yeah, you go there, you get all the popular votes like, California did. They got Sanders out there, and then still doesn't matter. Queen Hillary, she still gets, according to the power trip that she has, she still gets the delegates. I mean, even now, the normal people normally used to think everything's peachy. I think they start to understand that this is an illusion. They do this type of elections to pacify us, to keep us quiet. But it's really not anymore about that. The only thing we can make changes is people like you. What do you think about this fact that now Hillary, regardless in California, that Sanders got all the popular votes, she gets the delegates?
You want the truth?
Yeah, of course.
I got out of law school in '78. There's 154 FBI agents that have an active investigation against Hillary. We don't think she'll ever make it to November without being indicted. That brings Bernie back into the play.
We'll see.
That's really the next move here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a war going on across this country. This is the establishment against the people, not only in the Democratic Party, but in the Republican Party. Why do you think there's so many people that love Trump?
I understand.
He's not the establishment. The Bushes spent a couple $100 million, and they couldn't even get Jeb Bush to win one state.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a war, an intellectual war going on in this nation, and it's in both parties.
Yes.
It's the people against the banks.
You're right. And I always give you that credit, regardless. We have a couple of things we may disagree, but I tell you, you are one of the few people running for office who has the courage to address probably the biggest cancer of this country. That is pretty much come down to almost the roots of our problems. The private cartel of bankers owning and controlling our government, starting from the Federal Reserve, and of course going down the corruption to the loans and all the things that you talk about, what is illegal foreclosure, that you're pretty much the only one I know that talks that at this level, for sure at state level in California. So I just pray for you, my friend. I mean, seriously, because you are becoming a serious danger to their game. Now, next step is going to be the real elections. I mean, the final election. Are we talking about in August, right? Or November?
Well, here's what's so beautiful. Here's what's so beautiful about this election in November.
November, yes.
Only if you believe in a spiritual power could this happen anywhere in this state.
Mm-hmm.
But my guy that I'm running against is the chair of the Senate. The California Senate Finance and Banking Committee.
Wow, this is big.
And I am running Jail the Banksters. That's on my T-shirts.
Wow. This is really... What is his name, please? I would like to call him in. What is his name?
Mike Morrell, and he's a really nice guy. He's got a nice family. Well, I've shaken his hand a couple times, and I said, I'm coming after you, Mike.
Good. I'd like to have him on the show. Maybe I would like to have you both on the show. That would be so great.
Love to, yeah, because I think he's afraid to debate me, honestly.
Okay.
But I'd welcome that. It'd be just wonderful, because me and him are going to see each other in November. And I told him before, I said, I have nothing personal against you. I have just everything intellectually against you, and morally and ethically. When you're throwing senior citizens out of their homes, and you're evicting them, and you're pushing grandma on the sidewalk and telling her, you're on your own, lady, good luck. Oh, but you got health care, you got Obamacare, but you better get it from the sidewalk, and there's nowhere to go. I talk to those people every day. They call me crying. Mm-hmm. Every day, 18 hours a day for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I mean from here to Sacramento, what am I going to do? 12 million people have been evicted, and some of them had family members. So if everyone had one family member, that means 24 million people in America have been foreclosed on, thrown out in the street, without due process, without a court hearing, and nowhere to go.
Yeah. You know what is sad, very sad, both parties, not just the Democratic Party, but this fact now that we have millions of Americans really starving or really living like in World III countries, three world countries, And meanwhile, we have these completely open borders, and we are inviting people that we don't even vet. We have no idea where they're coming from, and we're giving them billions of tax dollars. Meanwhile, we're
flying 100,000 Muslims into our country and putting them in Detroit and all over the country. Why?
Yeah.
We can't afford to take any immigrants in here.
No.
We're flying them on planes. We're paying their airfare.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? That's got to stop.
Yeah, and this is, both parties, they could have stopped it. Regardless, the executive, the president, we know he has a plan to destroy this country, but both parties, they are complex. I mean, complices.
They're
look at the
and our
Republicans.
people have to say something.
Exactly.
They're moving our people out of their homes, and they're giving them under government programs to people from Syria, people from Lebanon, people from Tunisia, North Africa. Why?
Yeah.
Why don't we use that money to help our own people? We're Americans, for God's sake. They're not.
I agree.
This is our country. Go to your country and make it better.
Listen,
don't come here and milk off us.
As I said, if you want to do charity, everybody can open their checkbook and send a check to wherever they want. But this is an extortion, a legalized extortion, and more important, is an insult. I mean, look at now, for example, even at the veterans, okay? Many veterans, they cannot even have basic access to healthcare, okay? And then they are debating, they want to give now through the Veterans Fund their right, and I'm being sarcastic here, to have a sex change operation. Okay, when people, they are dying for cancer, or maybe they're dying of Agent Orange or other serious diseases. So that's the new priorities, but it's all by design. That's the story. Now, you're kind of a different type of Democrat. That's why I really like you a lot. Let's talk about a couple topics that normally with Democrats, probably I disagree. And I'm not sure about where you stand on this, but I may guess. What do you think about this bathroom Obama forcing the states and the public schools, to have this new policy where if a boy, in this case most of the times, feels like for a moment is now a woman or a girl, can walk into the women bathroom and unzip his pants and be with your daughter or with your granddaughter or wherever you want. What do you think about this transgender?
That's why I'm an advocate of having guns.
What do you mean?
That's my answer. Shoot him.
Oh, no.
He's a predator. What's he doing in there? If we need to get like an alternative bathroom for them people, and I'm not against gays. If you want to be gay, good luck. Have a great time.
That's fine.
I
agree with you.
don't think that anal sex, because that's all it is, between males, qualifies you to get some certain privileges. Then I think that the gay and lesbian community should all get their money together and just do the right thing and have a third bathroom. They can pay for it and put it in the public facilities, my goodness. They want a bathroom? Pitch in your money, get one.
Yeah.
Why should I pay for you? Because you can't make up your mind what sex you are.
That's true. That's true. So I'm sure when you go
I don't ask you to pay for me.
Yeah. Well,
it's a tax dollar isn't a free ride. You want my money, then what's in it for me? But you're going to walk in there when my little kid's walking in there, going to the bathroom, a young lady, I'm going to follow your ass in there, buddy, and you're not coming out.
Okay, that's enough. Of course, we are talking about here just in the...
No, I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
It's nuts. It's absolutely insane.
No, I agree with you.
And
it's
it has nothing
insane.
to do with equal rights.
I agree with you. And this is my point. And that's why I like you, because you think out of the box. You don't follow just the every party, they try to put them on some sort of a path, like almost like a shape. They give you like the little talking points. And if you go out of these talking points, you are not a Republican anymore, or you are no Democrat anymore. And that's what I like about you.
The one I love the most is if you have a predator that's got a sex offense and he lives in your neighborhood, you're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, I understand that.
Now, here's a guy just did 10 years for raping a couple women, little baby girls, 12 years old. Now he's living next door, but you're not allowed to say nothing because it's politically incorrect.
Yeah.
You're going to, offend somebody. Well, you know what? Don't even walk in my yard.
This is very true. This is part of the politically correctness, trying to freeze and castrate us as a human beings, as Americans, as a human beings, of course. Anyway, listen.
First Amendment. We have the right to speak. We don't have to be afraid. We're not afraid. That's your song.
Yes.
We are not afraid. I'd love to hear that song, by the way.
I will play.
I'd love you to open this whole show with that song.
I will play.
Because we're not your slave. We are not afraid, and we are allowed to speak. And they don't speak for all Democrats. They didn't speak for these 40,000 ones here in the desert that voted for me. And they are not sheep. These people are starting to stand up, and they're getting ready to speak because of shows like yours, Zanna. They are getting the guts. They're not ashamed to be a Democrat. They're ashamed of our leadership, and we're telling our leadership no. And until we tell them no, they're going to keep doing it. And we're here to say no.
Very good.
No, we're not your slave. No, we are not going along with your little program because somebody bought you off. And we don't care if it's politically correct because we don't need that office. We'll be there standing against you.
Question, Ronald.
That's where we are now.
What do you think about this new California law that supposedly, I'm reading it, says that anybody who questions man-made climate change could be arrested? And I tell you exactly the law. This is an article that...
I'm familiar with it.
You're familiar with that. SB 1161. I think this is also from the Senate. Anyway, so what do you think about that? What's going on in California? We are really right now to a new fascism, this eco-fascism. That you can
I don't believe it's passed, has it? I think it's proposed. I don't believe it's been passed.
No, it's not passed.
I mean, it's asinine.
Oh, it's asinine.
Freedom of speech supersedes everything else.
I know, but they're trying hard. I mean, this is, of course, it didn't pass yet, but many things a few years ago didn't pass, and we thought we're never going to pass, and instead things can happen. So I tell you, still...
Well, unless we talk, like we're doing right now on this show. While we're on this show, this will go all over Southern California. You know it, and I know it, because of the circumstances here. Oh, I want to add something.
Go ahead, please.
Damn well it's happening. You know it's happening. All you got to do is look up. And they have us trained to keep our eyes on our feet. And I'm here to tell everyone, just like you're trying to tell people, but I say it in English. Look up. Look up and see. Keep your chin up. Walk with your head up. You know, they've got us cowered down like sheep. They've got us afraid. We're so scared, oh my God, that we just keep our heads down to the ground. You see people walking around. Just look at them. When we were young kids, I remember we used to have to lean back against the wall, and I remember our parents putting our head up against the wall. And they'd say, don't you ever bend for no tyrant, for no king, for no queen, for the Queen of England, nobody. You never remove your head from this height. This is what it feels like to be a man. Put your head up. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to go ahead and disagree. You have the First Amendment right of freedom of speech. That's what I was taught at 12 years old.
No, I understand.
They don't do that anymore.
No, and another thing, talking about putting, your heads up for many reasons. First of all, exactly, every human being should walk really straight and...
erect is what they call it. Animals
exactly.
crawl,
exactly.
men walk. Erect.
Exactly.
And women, for you listeners out there.
And of course, another thing also I add, this is of course me talking, I'm not speaking for you, and more now, especially with the weather modification, geoengineering / chemtrails, people really need to walk facing with your eyes the sky, because that's exactly looking up. Because what's happening now, all these problems that we have now with the weather, this extreme heat or this weather, crazy weather, like in Europe, like in Texas, the water that now, out of the blue seems to disappear. They control the weather since the 50s, the late 50s at least. They control the weather. They're manipulating the weather. We have all the documents. We have all the experts. We have two eyes that we can see that. And this is part of the plan. So that's why I'm glad that I really pray for you. Seriously, more than ever, the last hope we have as Americans to have at least a local government, a state government with people, the regular people like yourself, they go there and they're not afraid to straighten things up, regardless which party you're from.
When I was in grade school, every morning when we had, the muster and everybody went into class, we actually had a ceremony that we performed for about 2 minutes every morning. It was called the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. And that wasn't offensive. That wasn't, being touchy-fuzzy, harming anyone in the room. No, we were taught, you're an American, act like one. An American, here's how they walk. They walk with their heads up. They walk with pride in their country. They walk with dignity. They bow down to no king, like, I'm sorry, Obama did when he went to Saudi Arabia. Almost got on his knees.
Yes.
Embarrassing.
Yes.
But we don't do that. We need to reinstill in our schools, in our kids, in our country, pride in being an American. There's a law in this country that says that no flag can be raised in this country higher than the American flag.
Wow.
If you look at the United Nations building, they're all equal. Well, no, it's not, because we're here and they're not. They're visitors.
Ronald...
And that's what we got to do again.
Let me tell you...
We got to let them know they're just visiting. They aren't Americans. We are. We're proud, and we're not giving it up.
We're
not quitting.
I'm kind of concerned for you. You know that?
Good. I'm concerned, too.
Because I'm telling you, they didn't see it coming. And they cannot allow this type of peaceful revolution. Because what you did that and what you're doing there, when you're going to be now in November, you're going to be facing the other part of the establishment. You won now the Democratic establishment. Now you're facing the Republican establishment, okay? And
I'm going to tell them the same thing. Stand up like men and don't get on your knees like animals. We're not animals. We're men. And I'm going to stand with the other men in this damn desert, and we're not going to get on our knees for anyone.
Yeah. Let me say something to the listeners. I'm in Arizona, and this is just my 2 cents from outside, okay?
That's our desert, too. Arizona's our desert.
As a former Republican, okay? I wish I don't want to tell you guys what you should do. I don't care. Everybody, I'm not the type of person, okay? I don't endorse anybody. I'm a regular guy, and I'm not going to tell you what to do because I'm nobody. But if I wish I was living right now in California for a moment, just for the elections, of course, because I don't like it there, but just to register Democrat and to support you, my friend. That's all I would do. Because
that's an honor coming from you, and I have
just for these
total
elections,
respect for you and your music.
Because this is the time that really we can show to Washington how we can take our government back, where we don't play anymore the little stupid game of putting us against each other. That was one of the main points to have you on the show, to show that we have a lot of things in common, and we go. It's our duty as Americans. I don't care which party you want to join. We need to expose the corruption in our parties. That's the bottom line.
Well, I told them right to their face. I said, if you have any doubt in your mind, this is to the head of the Democratic Party leadership here. I said, I am not a Republican or a Democrat first. I am an American first.
I must state you for that. This is very serious for them.
What part of that do you not understand?
Wow, this is really good. Listen, you have a website? People wants to find out more about you, maybe send you a donation because it always helps. Doesn't matter. They don't
have to send me anything. Buy my book. I have a website, foreclosureammunition.com.
Okay.
If you have anybody that's in foreclosure, you need help, you buy the book, and the book supports me.
Very good.
But it also is updated every month or every 6 weeks as the cases. It's useful in all 50 states.
Okay.
And I update. It's about 350 pages. It's a 3-ring binder, 5 sections. One's bankruptcy, one's foreclosure defense, strategic foreclosure defense, banking violations by the banks, the national settlements, the Yazanowski cases, United States Supreme Court, California Supreme Court cases just came down this year. All that's in there for $99.99.
Okay, listen, I read your book.
You can save your house.
I read part of your book. I tell you something. This is really serious information, and that's why I say I'm concerned about your health and your wellness, because I want to be sure you're on record. You do not believe in taking your own life, right?
No, hell no.
Okay.
I want to stick around longer than Bernie Sanders. I mean, I want to do something.
Good, because this is my point.
You know where Bernie lost?
Yeah.
And I supported Bernie when he said, I don't want to bring up the emails. Well, you know what the emails have in them? Why, there's 154 FBI agents looking at this?
Yeah.
Because it looks like it was an illegal gun sale, not gun, but actually rocket-launched, shoulder rocket-launched missiles.
Yeah.
And you notice all these planes have been coming down,
Yeah.
They just get shot out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was part of that went haywire.
Yep.
Because when the deal went down, just like a drug deal, the purchaser decided, why should I give you my money? I'm just going to go ahead, kill you, and take the damn things, you stupid jerk. And they stole 400 rocket launchers right off of them.
Yes.
Well, those emails know that. But we're not allowed to talk about it because we're not allowed to talk about the murders in San Bernardino. We're not allowed to talk about the terrorist attacks on our soil. And that is why I'm speaking up, because we need to talk about it. We need to get this truthful out.
By the way, let me stop
We
you
need
one
this
second.
information. The American people need this information.
This is funny. I am right now under some sort of a cyber attack. I got some different firewalls. I can monitor my computer. And out of the blue, my computer, there are 2 IP addresses that try to break in. This is almost
Today?
funny.
What do you mean right now?
Right now, while I'm talking to you. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. It happens a few times, and I had situations like that. One was when I was talking with the former NSA whistleblower, William Binney. I had the craziest computer you could imagine that time. Anyway, interesting detail just to share with my listeners. Listen, I want to thank you, and I want you, please keep me updated. I would like to have your other side opponent from the Republican Party. I will try to contact him if you can help me out.
I'll get you the information. You
Perfect.
can call him and say, hey, I'm going to get you on the radio show.
Yeah, I want him on the show, and I want you both guys together for the full hour so you can talk to each other.
I'd be happy to talk to him because I have a feeling. I have a gut feeling. I've met the man. I know a little bit about him, okay?
Yes.
He's a Republican. He's my opponent.
Yes.
I think that he's starting to see the light also.
Good.
In other words, he's looking and wondering, what the hell am I doing?
Yes.
I'm selling out my people. Do I really need this money? Judas said the same thing.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, and that's when he got the 30 pieces of silver, to go ahead and turn in Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yes.
And this guy's the same guy. He's Judas to the American people, and he knows it. And his conscience, I think, will have to speak to him. Because 40,000 people can't be wrong.
No, this is really good. I'm still in shock, I'm telling you. In shock. Especially
Me too.
for the fact that
I'm in shock. That's why I called.
I mean, how can it be possible without any type of budget? I'm talking about a few $100s.
$495.
I mean, that's nothing. And by chance, I'm sure you can find out through the campaign books.
He has $1.5 million against me.
No, I'm talking beside the Republican, your opponent from the Democratic side. How much money did he have?
I don't know because he had the machine, so there's no dollar amount you can put on it when they have all. He said to me, he said, you don't have a chance beating me. He did. In an email, I got it. I saved it. He said because you don't ever go up against people that buy ink by the barrel.
Wow. And
own a radio station. He owns the local radio station here,
Wow.
KCAA. No, he's a general manager or whatever. And I really thought he's right. I thought, you know what? That's true. They buy ink by the barrel. How can I ever beat him?
This is
Well, the
amazing.
people beat him. I didn't beat him. The thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are listening.
How many votes did he
When
get?
they went into the polls, they voted for me.
How many votes
Republicans did, Democrats did, Independents did, what I call the NOPEs, or the no political party preference people. So I call them NOPEs.
Okay.
They voted for me.
Ronald, how many votes did he get the other side? I'm just curious.
They're not all in right now, but about 40,000 from the desert here.
Anyway, you won. That's the point. It's impressive. It's shocking. Seriously. Now, after you won, did he ever contact you to congratulate you or to say great job or whatever? Did you?
No, today the Democratic Party contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be an endorsed candidate. And I said, of course I do. And they said, well, that's $500. I said, well, you got it today. I don't have the money today, but I said, you got it. Send me the forms. And then he said, well, we'll get them back to you. They're not due until July 25th.
Wow. And I
said, I'll send it to you now. Send it to me.
Wow.
They were checking to see if I, wanted to be the endorsed candidate. Well, of course I do. Even though I just beat the one, I'm already the ex officio is technically what I am.
Yes.
And I said, I'll give you 500. I can muster that up. I can.
Yes.
Now I can.
Excellent. Listen, I need to let you go, but please keep me posted and updated, okay?
Okay, but for the listeners, yeah, I'll be the endorsed candidate, but I will not give up my principles. I will not give up my Zanna music that you can find just by going to youtube.com and typing in Zanna. And there's all the songs. Starts with Don't Tread on Us, which was my inspiration for running. And I mean, I heard that song and I listened to the words. I actually almost in tears, because I don't want to sound like I'm a
Okay, listen to me. You must do me a little gift for me, okay? And I pray that you will become the next California senator. And the day that of your inauguration, or at least when you're swearing, in front of.
Oh yeah.
I want to be there. I want to be there, and I want to be there with you. Okay, I would love to be there.
Well, I want to invite you to one of my events because I have other people rallying around this concept that we're talking about now. Mm-hmm. And one is Abigail Medina. She won Assembly District 40.
Yes.
I remember I appointed Lenore Albert for Orange County.
Yes, you told me that. Yes.
She won last night.
You told me that too today. Yes, that's amazing.
My God, and she never expected to.
Yeah.
And she's a federal appeals attorney, never involved in politics her whole life, turning Orange County upside down on its head. Same principles.
Yes.
Freedom, First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, individual rights. She's, one of us.
Very good.
Very good.
Excellent. Listen, I need to let you go. I have another topic to talk about it, but let me play this song for you, and congratulations again, and keep me posted. Okay, Ronald?
I'm going to hold until the song's over. I love your music.
Okay. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We'll look at Zanna, and this was Ronald O'Donnell running and also defeating his opponent in the Democratic primaries for California State Senate. Amazing.
We are one.
Very
There's
good.
No political boundaries. We are one. We are the desert. We're the inland empire. We are the empire. We are the American voice. And they're going to learn now.
And this is Don't Tread on Us, dedicated to you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us. You crossed the line, so you will pay for all your crimes. After a long train of abusive and dissipation, now we've lost our patience. You're trying to kill our Constitution, to kill our pride. Now the wood is dry. Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us. You crossed the line, so you will pay for all your crimes. You keep on pushing us into desperation. You'll only fuel our determination. Yeah, it's been way too long since the last time. 1776. Now we're done with your tricks. Don't tread on us. Don't tread on us. We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves. Don't tread on us. You crossed the line, so you will pay for all your crimes. it's payback time. Don't tread on us. You crossed the line. Soon you will pay. You're gonna pay for all your crimes. Don't tread on us.
Hey, you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve a break. Enjoy a moment of indulgence. It's time for Zanna Coffee. Guilt-free pleasure. Zanna Coffee is the organic coffee to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Only the best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world that I selected. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade certified, sustainable organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. www.zannacoffee.com. Get your coffee bag now. Don't be cheap. Life is too short and you deserve the best. Zanna Coffee. Okay guys, back here on the air, and you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I genuinely really very excited about what happened to Ronald O'Donnell, because this is not just about him. This is about we the people. We are waking up. I really believe that, and I'm telling you, one of the things really I learned in the last 2 years, to understand, if we want to send a message to the establishment that controls both parties, we understand that, at least we should understand that, is to completely get out of the trap, get out of these chains of that keep us separated, of the Democratic, Republican garbage. That's the way they keep us controlled. They do exactly, the top parties in Washington and even here in Phoenix, the establishment, at least the people that are supposed to be the leadership in the parties, they are following the law orders from the same masters. That's the point. Yes, there are some differences. There are always going to be some differences, I understand. But then the bottom line is to come down to the real cause of the problem. We could solve a lot of these problems if we always go back to the root of the cancer. And Ronald understands it. The private central bank, called also Federal Reserve, that prints money out of thin air. Think about it. Maybe you don't understand. The Federal Reserve is, I know many of you guys, listeners, you understand, but the majority of America probably still thinks that the Federal Reserve is federal. And we have to go to them as America, as a nation. Every time we need a dollar, we need to beg for the dollar to be printed. Now they don't even print anymore. It's digital. It's a digital illusion. With no backing, no gold, no silver, out of thin air. This is a role that our treasury, our country used to and could do before 1913. Instead, we had to go to these central cartels of bankers, private bankers. They print this currency, and then they charge us the interest. And the interest we had to pay back with real work. Think about what type of scam we are living in. We've been in bondage the last 100 years at least. So that's the point. That's why I say when I find people like him, I'm excited, especially when I see how it can be possible. It is almost unheard that you have a regular guy, because Ronald is a regular guy, he's a working man. He doesn't have any type of connections when it comes down to power. And, as you said, that the guy he was running against, he owns the station, controls the media, at least controls the ink, they have money, they have the backing of the Central Party. I mean, it's insane. It's a miracle. I'm very excited. Now, I want to talk about one topic. I think it's very important. A few days ago, I had on my Facebook page a post regarding that piece of, let's see how I call him exactly, Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House. I said, "You are a pure piece of slime," on my Facebook page. And I stayed behind every letter of what I wrote. Not just word, letter, consonant and vocal. Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, you are a pure piece of slime. Let me tell you exactly what happened. First of all, he's a piece of slime no matter what. This guy is the biggest fraud, like Bonner, and I want to call him Bonner intentionally, was. They're just the puppets, the illusion that they tried to give us in this game of wrestling match, Republicans against Democrats. They're all working for the same masters, pretty much the same. They butt kiss up to Obama, and they do exactly what they're told. That's it. But if we go there, Paul Ryan mocks senior citizen who wants to keep his Medicare, and he says, "I hope he is on his blood pressure medication, as this man is dragged out to the town hall and handcuffed." This is, by the way, is a senior guy, 71-year-old. But let me tell you also first of all, let's listen to this little, let's say, audio clip, okay? Because it's very important.
Most of our debt in the future comes from our entitlement programs.
Hey,
namely
what is this
Medicare
entitlement program
and Medicaid.
Mr. Congressman?
So-
I paid into that for 15 years. My unemployment and my Social Security and my Medicare, and now you're gonna...
So-
What? Now! Stop it now!
I hope he's taking his blood pressure medication.
I can get you one for now.
The budget system we have.
Okay, that was Paul Ryan laughing at this poor bastard who was trying to exercise his First Amendment, by the way. He had a very good point. He's been paying for all his life. These are not entitlement programs. And let me tell you briefly, I have a few minutes left when it comes down to this topic, where I stand, so you understand very well pretty much who you're talking to. I despise the idea of Social Security and any type of federal or state program that does not give me the freedom to choose if I want to be part into it. The idea that my paycheck, if I had a paycheck, I don't have a paycheck, thank God, the government can take my money without my consent, it drives me crazy. Crazy! Think about it. It's worse than a Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme, at least you have the stupidity to choose to be part of it. This is like the mafia pointing the gun at your head, say, "Give me your money," and then they tell you, "Yes, we're gonna give them back to you with the interest." Okay, I mean, you have no other choice, really. So, it's a contract. I wish it didn't happen. I wish you still had the choice to choose, since you work for that money. It's your money, it's supposed to be your money, it's your life. You're supposed to decide how you want to invest that money for your retirement or not. But the way it is, of course, they take your money. So the government, it is not giving you charity back. What it's doing, they're supposed to fulfill the obligations of this contract that they force you into it. So the idea is, you, Paul Ryan, piece of slime, worse than slime, these government programs, they're no entitlement. They're just giving back the money. The people are entitled to this money because they already gave them to you, to the government. If you really want to know how the money we're gonna get broke, we're gonna get broke first of all for this crazy, Federal Reserve out there that they are printing every time they print a dollar is a dollar of debt. It's impossible to repay back. And more important, you start to stop all these millions of billions and trillions of dollars given around the world to Israel, to Iran, to 128 countries around the world, and to the military-industrial complex, and then of course to people like you that you live in a completely another reality from us. Really. And to the Syrians, or all these refugees that you want to bring in. And I mean, come on, guys. And the worst part, this is like living in Nazi Germany. We see this man. Yes, he was a little irritated. He has the right to be irritated. He didn't point a gun at him. He didn't, he was just a little bit being a man. But now probably it's a sin. If you're a little bit red-blooded American, now you are a danger. They handcuff him so fast. They threw him on the ground like he was a piece of garbage. Just to tell the facts, to tell the truth to this piece of slime of Paul Ryan. I despise you, Paul Ryan, I despise. And by the way, this is the point. I have friends out there that, they try to say, at least one friend, I don't want to mention her name. The point is, look, I'm against all entitlement. That's fine. But this is not an entitlement. This is a contract. How do you feel if me and you, we have a contract? And I force you into this contract, by the way. This is just, of course, talking in sort of almost an example. I force you to this contract. I'm the government. I say you must give me, for the rest of your life, since you start working for 40 years, you must give me a certain amount of money for every dollar you make. And I have the promise to give it back to you. But then, 30 years later, after you give me all this money, oh, no. This is too much. This entitlement is going to, completely bankrupt us. Guess what? Maybe you should have never started this fraud on us. So the federal government first must fulfill its obligation to all these people that they've been giving and being forced to give all this money to the Social Security, to Medicare, or anywhere that the government stole this money legally. They need to give them back. And then, yes, we should start fresh. And people should have the choice to decide if they want to be part of this federal fraud programs or they want to keep their money and manage them themselves. That's it. All right. I need some blood pressure medication right now. My God, I hate these bastards. And I don't hate anybody. But I tell you, when I see something so bad and people there laughing, when you see a fellow American thrown on the ground for his First Amendment, I really hate you bastards. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Second hour is going to be about guns. We have a great guest. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.